Cain Maddox stepped into the elevator, and then just as the doors were about to close, he heard a woman call out, "Hold that for me." Cain thrust out his arm to keep the doors from sliding shut. He inwardly groaned when he saw the woman who lived across the hall come racing toward him. He kept his eyes trained straight ahead, not inviting conversation. He'd run into this particular woman several times in the last few months since he'd moved into the building. She'd stopped several times to pet Schroeder, his Irish setter, the one he'd inherited from his grandfather when Bernie had moved into the assisted living complex. She'd chattered away, lavishing affection on the dog. Not the talkative type, Cain responded minimally to her questions. He liked her all right, but she was a bit much, over the top with that cutesy smile. Okay, he'd admit it. He found her attractive. He wasn't sure what it was about her, because usually the chirpy, happy ones didn't appeal to him. Regardless, nothing would come of it, and that suited him. He knew better. Yet every time he saw her, a yellow light started flashing in his head. Warning, warning, danger ahead. Cain could feel this woman was trouble the first moment he saw her and heard her exuberant, "Good morning." Even her name was cheerful, Julia. Looking at her, it was easy to envision the opening scene from The Sound of Music, with Julie Andrews twirling around, arms extended, singing, joyful, excited. Even the thought was enough to make Cain cringe. He could do happy, just not first thing in the morning. To put it simply, he found little good about mornings. And second, he'd learned a long time ago not to trust women, especially the types who were enthusiastic and friendly. Experience had taught him well, and having been burned once, he wasn't eager to repeat the experience. "Thanks," she said a bit breathlessly as she floated into the elevator. Yes, floated. Her coat swirled around her as she came to stand beside him. On her coat's lapel, she wore a pretty Christmas tree pin that sparkled with jewel-toned stones. "I'm running late this morning." Pushing the button to close the door, Cain ignored her. He didn't mean to be rude, but he wasn't up for conversation. "Didn't I see you walking Schroeder in the dog park the other day?" she asked. No. He hadn't seen her. Maybe he had, but he wasn't willing to admit it. "Really? I'm pretty sure I saw you." He let her comment fall into empty space. Could this elevator move any slower? Fortunately, the elevator arrived at the foyer before she could continue the conversation. "You aren't much of a morning person, are you?" she asked as he collected his newspaper, tucked it under his arm, and headed for the door. Julia reached for her own and followed him. Would he never shake this woman? They were welcomed by the Seattle drizzle that was part of the winter norm for the Pacific Northwest. Cain's office at the insurance company where he worked as an actuary was within easy walking distance. Julia matched her steps with his until she reached the bus stop outside the Starbucks, where, thankfully, she stopped. "Have a good day," she called after him. Cain would, especially now that he was free of Ms. Sunshine.